What's up? Good afternoon, good night, good morning, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. We got some big news that dropped right before we went live, talking about the SEC potentially saying there's some inadequacies in the applications that have been presented lately. Does this mean that they are denied? Well, we're going to have to dive into that together because I saw the news pop up literally about 10 minutes ago. Had to adjust the thumbnail, had to adjust the title. So we're going to find that out together, and we're going to be looking at some of the charts. We're going to be looking, let me see if my hotkeys are working. For some reason, let's see. I guess not. Well, we're going to be looking at a bunch of stuff. We're going to be looking, of course, at Bitcoin. You can tell specifically on this chart exactly where that news came out. If we zoom into this on the 24-minute, look at this. Where did it come out? Probably, I'm guessing, somewhere right about in here. It happened, if we look on the 5-minute chart, I would guess, boom, right here. This is about when it came out, about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. And we're going to talk about that. What does this mean? Is this setting up for a continuation to the downside? Is this a small retracement and there's going to be just a little bit of chop in this area and then a resolution to the upside? Well, there's some signals that I already was planning on talking about, which make a lot more sense now. Again, just like everything in our government, just like everything with the corporations globally, is there insider knowledge that's kind of lending itself to these moves in the market? Because we saw the chart that I was going to bring up shows that institutions were already scaling in fairly heavily based on the rolling basis over the last couple weeks. They were layering into shorts, leading up to this news. And the news comes out. Was it a hedge? Was it a preparatory move? What was the reason? Everybody let me know. Throw a 1 in chat right now if there is any issue. If everything's okay with the audio visual, because this is the first time I'm streaming from my home studio. Of course, those of you that watch me daily know I just moved to Atlanta, so that's why my walls are naked right now. We'll get a little bit more life and color on these walls soon. But we got to talk about what's going on in these charts. We got to talk about what's going on with these institutional shorts that we see here spiking, over the course of the last month, outweighing what the retail puts, the retail betting on the upside, while we're seeing institutions betting on the downside. So what does this mean? We see the dollar index. Let's kind of look at this. Dollar index is coming up right to resistance. We also see a lot of different stuff that we're going to talking about. The SEC says spot coin filings are inadequate, but we also see in combination with that, let's see, that's not the one I want to look at, that whales buying, are basically about nearly 1 million Bitcoin, not $1 million worth, but nearly a million Bitcoin being accumulated in the zones, essentially between the 29,930 to 30,000, basically about a $900 range. Nearly 900,000 Bitcoin were accumulated. So what's going on here is there pressure to get the price back down to these levels or below? Well, we're going to be talking about all this, but how are you feeling? How are you looking? The question here is, have you hit that like button? Have you subscribed? If this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your only time. So let's get involved. Let YouTube know you like crypto content, whether or not you like me or not. If you're tuned in, there's something that's engaging happening here. So why don't you engage back with the stream? So let's go ahead and dive in. I don't have my keyboard, my mouse, or my switcher today. So I'm doing this all from the same keyboard. And I have to select the scenes. So if there's a couple little errors here and there, don't mind me. But we're going to talk about all this. Before we dive into everything here, let's make sure, where are we at? Let me go ahead and pull up the correct screen. Okay, there we go. Make sure you are following my page. Let's see. There we go. Make sure you're following my page right here at Kellam. It's KELLYKELLAM here. Make sure you're following the correct version of me, the only version of me. Right here, look for the blue check mark and the hit logo. And then, of course, make sure you're coming over here to BitLab Academy's page at Academy BitLab. Hit that retweet, hit that like. You may be entered to win. Yesterday, we gave away $100 and a 3-month membership to BitLab Academy courses, all access and premium Discord. So just want to show my appreciation for you helping spread the word about this this place people can come together, learn about crypto, learn that deep pro alpha while also breaking it back down understandably. So whether you're a beginner or a pro, this is your channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and again, ding that bell. So, you know, one of the things I want to talk about also is we had our regular weekly crypto answered yesterday. Right here, we had Scott Melker. If you don't know who he is, the Wolf of Wall Streets. We had Mr. Kevin Svensson himself come on here. We had Jesse Olson, wonderful chartist and trader. Ryan Rasbiani, really smart guy. Of course, we have Bar Chart come on as well, and myself and Crypto Vet hosting. Shout out to Presend and Pennyfly. Presend being our one of our show sponsors, and Pennyfly our partners in this. They got us all our distribution on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, and the like. So you can listen to it right here on my page. Now, what are we talking about today? Let's not draw this out any longer. We want to talk about what the hell is going on with the SEC. Well, let's be honest. Throw a one in chat if you feel like, and I hope I see 0 ones. Throw a one in chat if you feel like SEC has been making all the right moves and they're making the calls that are there to protect the investors. And that is, whether or not that's their mission, is that what their actions have been showing? Is that what, do they seem like they are corrupted in any way? Throw a 2 in chat if you think it's on the secondary side of that, if you feel like they're corrupted in some type of way or fashion. Well, let's dive into this. I have not been able to fully read this article yet, so let's figure out what the hell they're talking about. SEC says spot Bitcoin filings are inadequate. WSJ, Wall Street Journal. Filings aren't sufficiently clear and comprehensive. Where they want it like our tax code that's freaking 72 volumes and you need 4 lawyers to figure out your taxes these days. This is, I'm just frustrated with all this. Okay, so hopes for a Bitcoin ETF have been spurred by the Bitcoin rally to $31,000. And remember, you know, this morning I was looking, I was like, man, we broken all the way up here to 31,000. Let's go actually back to a chart that makes sense. We broke all the way up here to 31,120. Remember, you can move your mouse across the screen. Remember, look up here where it says, where my mouse is OHLC. This is open, high, low, close. And this will change based on what candle your cursor is over. And it doesn't matter if it's down here or up above. You can see it. This is why I have those crosshairs, the dotted line crosshairs. We put our crosshairs over this right here, put our cursor over this time frame. We can see right here, open, high, low, close. The high, the H, is $31,119. So we broke above $31,000. I was actually going to talk about a potential short opportunity because the institutions were shorting. Institutions tend to have a little bit of inside knowledge, and they tend to not only have inside knowledge, whether or not that's the case, they have the money to push the market around. And, you know, retail, the smarter side of retail, because there's the dumb side and the smart side. And this is no you know, trash talking of any individual. The truth is some people just have more knowledge and more experience than others. And people that are knowledgeable, they look to what the big money players are doing. And the big money players were shown right here on this chart. You can see the spike in red right here. The spike in red, this was here before this this news article came out, before the press came out about the SEC saying that there was inadequacies with the ETFs. And we can see that they were scaling up their shorts over the last week or so, disproportionately. Okay. We see right here, scaling up the shorts. And you can see right here on the Bitcoin price fell shortly after. Okay. It's not going to play out every time. We also see the short scaling up here, but we also see the blue, the buys moving up there as well. So we want to take note of the data that's available to us. And if we look at the chart itself without any of this other data, was there any indications that something was about to happen? Well, we can see we did get, if we zoom in on this just a little bit, we did get the MACD cross bullish right here. This is on the 4-hour chart. And then immediately as we broke down, of course, we lost that. So this would not have been a signal because we were expanding bullishly. The momentum was into this move. Now, when we look at let me go ahead and delete this line. when we look at the RSI got rejected started moving down. If we zoom in on this, the RSI started moving down. Let's actually go to the 1 hour. The RSI started moving down. I guess it's hard to tell because of, it's okay right here. You see this? The RSI started moving down right before this fall. The stochastics, the strength in the stochastics, the strength underlying the market got rejected here. The money flow started coming down right here when we hit the 31,275. Yeah, I don't know why the other one said it was 31.1, but 31,275. We see the stochastics, the money flow, the money flowing out, the liquidity, the fuel, the gas to continue going. We saw it flowing out all the way back here, and it was somewhat holding steady here, but it started flowing out again right here, but price is moving up. So there's a bearish divergence, meaning the money, the fuel for a move to continue higher, which is needed, liquidity coming in, that was not the case. We're seeing price go up though. So this to me looks like a setup for better position for shorts because we're seeing the money flow come out. We're looking, this is on the 24-minute chart. So we have signals in the chart as well as the other data to support the signals we're seeing. So if we're seeing this take place, then we zoom out of the market, look out of price action, and we come over here. This is when you need to look at what institutional traders are doing. We see that they were shorting going into this for, the last week or so. So whether or not there's a case of insider trading or insider knowledge, or it's just the fact that they were hedging their positions, and then the last straw that broke the camel's back came into play, and we see the price action actually break down. Who's to say, who's to know? All we can do, you and I, all we can do every step of the way is make sure that we're looking at the data on the chart. Now, is this going to continue down or is this going to hold fast? Well, let's go ahead and continue through some of the other things that I wanted to talk about on this specific stream. And then we're going to do a bunch of TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a bunch of alts, because some of the alts were breaking the 4 hour and below, smaller time frame positions and trend lines, and starting to break bullishly. So I have not even had a chance, and I didn't want to do it once that news broke. I have not had a chance to go and look at those to see if those have pulled back. I'm guessing that they have. But we're going to look at all this. So again, if you haven't yet, make sure you're coming over here and following me at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. Make sure you're following BitLab Academy at Academy BitLab. And if you haven't yet, head over to bitlabacademy.com. Sign up for one of these courses, whether it's a beginner's course, which is free, the all access course, which is only $37.99 a month. You can still use Give Me 30, all one word, GIVEME 30 at checkout. You get 30% off your first month, or you can just get everything we got, the indicators, both the BitLab Trading Stack, the Ray Pulse indicator, and the all access, and the premium Discord for under $100, which is over a 30% discount. And you get that every month if you get involved with BitLab Pro. If you're currently a member, when you sign up, it will automatically sign you out of your other two membership, whatever other memberships you have. So you're not paying double, and you'll get 50% off your first month. So get involved here. And of course, we've got all kinds of different courses for which you can really dive in to the data whenever this website will load. There we go. We can see all kind of stuff here to really dive in, understand technical analysis, understand on-chain data, understand trading fundamentals and psychology of trading, and all the things you need to really understand, getting your footing and navigating these markets. So SEC says all these things. Now, is there any further information about this? Some industry watchers predicted that BlackRock's filing would appease the SEC's concerns through an agreement to share surveillance. This is what we talked about with the ARK Invest, which also had a spot ETF application in. They adjusted some of their wording because they, like many of us, like most of us, had some sort of, and maybe this is also why the SEC did this. We had some sort of notion that BlackRock was not going to get involved unless they were sure they were going to get approved. Now, to be clear, To be clear, I don't think this means that anything has been denied yet. I think they are. It's a little bit of political jockeying and political positioning through narrative in media, maybe trying to push any of the ETF applications that are out there to adjust more, almost like saying, giving a carrot, like this is not saying an absolute denial. And you cannot, don't quote me on this, because I have not been able to dive into this, but my first initial impression of this is the SEC having, press, playing a game of chess in the press, trying to say that there's an option, there is a path forward, but I think they're trying to squeeze more juice out of the grape here. They're trying to get tighter wording and tighter restriction agreement within the ETFs that are out there. Now, again, I have not been able to read through this. This just came out a few minutes ago, so we're gonna have to talk about this. We got Dano Crypto coming on here in a little while too. So Dano, if you're watching right now, I did send you a DM on Twitter, so make sure you check that. That's where the link is for the call. But let's go ahead and read this a little bit more. So SEC's concerns through an agreement to share surveillance of a spot Bitcoin trading platform with NASDAQ. Let me go ahead and make sure, is this correct? Okay, good. Dano, you can hear me, yeah? I guess, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but, oh, this is why, hold on. One second. Dano, can you hear me? Give me okay, just give me a couple minutes. Wait, don't talk. Give me a second. I'll bring you up. I'm live on stream right now. Sorry. So everybody, so this is the whole deal. SEC's concerns through an agreement to share surveillance of a spot Bitcoin trading platform with NASDAQ. This is the same thing that ARK Invest added to the wording of their application. Yet the SEC told the exchanges that it returned the filings because they didn't name the spot Bitcoin exchange with which they are expected to have a surveillance sharing agreement. Now, this is confusing to me because under my awareness, under my knowledge, I thought BlackRock had already named that their spot Bitcoin exchange was going to be Coinbase. So maybe they're pre-positioning that they're going to deny all of them. But BlackRock, let's go further. Again, I'm reading this with you all, so we got to figure this out together. Bitcoin prices fell nearly $1,000 on the headlines, but have steadied. Okay, what's worrisome for the bulls is the idea or the hope is that the SEC has tapped BlackRock on the shoulder and gave it an indication of how to get approval. This is exactly what I was just talking about. So everybody's on the same page here. Perhaps that's still the case, but if their application is deficient, then maybe it's not the case. Well, this is very perplexing right here. This is a concern because what this is indicating is exactly the question I had when we hadn't got here yet, when we were reading through this, because BlackRock, to my knowledge, had already identified Coinbase. And on yesterday's podcast, Crypto Answered, we did through my Twitter spaces, we do every Thursday. Go and give this a listen. This is a great talk here. We talk about ETFs, we talk about AI, we talk about the liquidity flow of Bitcoin to alts. Great conversation. Make sure you go and listen to this. Scott Melker, the Wolf of All Streets, basically identified that the reason Coinbase was tapped, and also gives us a little bit of hesitation about what the direction of Coinbase is going to be in the future. Because think about it, $9 trillion. Just so everybody knows how big BlackRock is, $9 trillion is equivalent to a larger amount of money than every country on earth other than Bitcoin and China's GDP. So effectively, the CEO of BlackRock is at the same level of control and power, maybe not control, but power and influence globally because of how much capital they have. It's basically on the same pace of the US and China. So we need to really pay attention to what's going on there and what they want to do if they're tapping Coinbase. And in order to get this to go through, this may mean that there's going to be some further, I don't want to say restrictions, let's say adjustments of course from Coinbase to make sure that they are in line with what needs to happen for BlackRock to have this capital flow for ETFs, because even if it were to cut out a big amount of altcoins that are involved on the Coinbase exchange, which is, quite a bit of altcoins, the regulatory concerns regarding what is a security and what's not a security is going to have a major impact on the global market of digital assets. So if BlackRock is, putting pressure, if they're going to be tapped and preemptively, maybe this is the softening, this is the social tact, this is the press narrative tact for the SEC that we're going to see. Maybe BlackRock still gets approved, but this is their way of making it seem legitimate that only BlackRock gets approved and nothing else. Again, this is on pure speculation because I just got this article. I'm talking, 7 minutes before we went live. But what this wording is right here is interesting. So let's read this again. What's worrisome for the bulls here is the idea or the hope that is that the SEC has tapped BlackRock on the shoulder and gave it an indication of how to get approval. Perhaps that's still the case. This is what's not clear. But if their application is deficient, then maybe it's not the case. And this is, let's go over here to news now. If you all don't use this, you check into this site. I love it. It's a free website. This is not a sponsorship. I just think it's a great news aggregator for everything. Topics, politics, world, sports, business, crypto. Come over here to the left toolbar, click Bitcoin, and let's go ahead and refresh this page. You can go from top stories, latest news, most read. Okay, let's see. Cointelegraph. Let's see if there's any more information that's come out of this. 14 minutes ago. Okay, Bitcoin ETF applications need refiling. Okay, let's see if it's all of them. Refiling, the SEC says, but as the Bitcoin price dips to 29.5, markets instantly fear that the fight is over. Well, let's see. Boom, boom. Here we go. Bureaucratic error, blah, blah, blah. Okay, data from, okay, the volatility accompanied the report that United States regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has refused applications for the Bitcoin spot ETF. So is this actually an actual refusal? Those applications had kickstarted the recent rally. That is true. Okay, Will Clemente. If you're not following him, absolutely give him a follow. Always great data on his Twitter. I also interviewed him on BitBoy Crypto, and we did like an hour interview. Really smart guy. Think the market is overacting here. Seems like the denial is just a technicality, and BlackRock Fidelity just have to refile naming Coinbase as the exchange that they have a surveillance sharing agreement. So maybe this is the case. So this is something different. As I mentioned, Coinbase. What I was aware of, and maybe this is where the bureaucratic error was, I thought that BlackRock had named Coinbase as the as a custodian for their exchange of choice for the ETF. And what Scott Melker, the Wolf of Wall Street, pointed out on that podcast yesterday is, of course, they named Coinbase partially, large in part, because in order to qualify to be an exchange that's holding the assets that an ETF is trading, if you, for instance, BlackRock, if they're going to be, offering an ETF, they have to have an exchange for that asset that has the majority volume. And Coinbase, of course, especially in the US, where these ETFs are filed, I should say, in the US, the exchange not only of choice, but the only exchange that they could realistically list is Coinbase. So maybe this was not explicit in their ETF wording, so we need to pay attention to this. But without any further ado, Dano, are you ready to hop in here? Awesome. So I'm doing this without my mouse or computer, just on my keyboard. So I'm doing so if I have any errors with my scene selection. Okay, so where is Gus? So Dano, how you doing? Were you aware of any of this at all before you came on stream? What's your thoughts? I know you've been listening in. Let me make sure.
Well, I was aware of the little quick dump that we just had. So Bitcoin just got rejected. If we were looking at the price, it got rejected to 29.8, like super quick. So, and was it getting rejected off of that news?
It was as soon as that news came out. There was already a little bit of cooling at that level, which is a necessary thing because that was a known resistance. But as soon as that news came out, washout down, and then a somewhat of a rebound back to, I won't call equilibrium, but we do have a pretty large wick below that candle body.
Yeah, it was a pretty nasty look. Yeah, so if I look at it right now, it's at, yeah, but that was a almost 3% drop, super quick. But now we're seeming like we're going to recover. But what's interesting is that if this candle is a confirmation of hitting that previous resistance, which was at like 29, like what was it at 20? What was it at 29 2 or 29.6, I think it
You want to
was.
pull up your chart?
Yeah, I have the chart right here.
Share your screen.
Yeah, let me share the screen real quick. See, I'm not on my normal setup, so I'm trying to be quick here.
Mr. Dano is at a different desk. He's actually in the Hit Network studios right now, so
yeah,
give him a little
I'm crashing DZ's desk right now, basically. So yeah, so you can see that the previous resistance was right here, I guess, right here at 29.6, 29.5. And then you can see we broke from that, went up to 31 when that was that
you mean the
high.
support?
Or sorry, the support. And then that was like our new local high. And that's what we've been trying to fight for. So then yeah, so we came off of that, and now we've just kind of just been going sideways, but then now we're trying to, I guess we might see that level again, but who knows? I guess with all the news, if these things because they're getting refiled, as you said. So once we see if they're actually going to get approved, then that's when we can actually see the actual volume and the liquidity go up. What would you say?
Sorry, my mic was muted. Yeah, I mean, I agree there, but what I'm looking at right now is the candle. So you're on that's the 1 hour chart. Yeah. So on the 1 hour chart and anything, I would say 1 hour chart at minimum. I'd like to see that the candle bodies hold above that, essentially right above where the bottom of the wick is. If I can draw on your screen, hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Where's annotate? And
by the way, I wanted to say hi to everyone. What's going on? I didn't say hi.
Sorry about that. This level right here, I want to hold above this sort of level. We saw the wick sort of zoom by this level and come back into it. And so what I'd like to see is this round like this and get a little bit of a push up, probably get rejected at like the 618 or 0.5 to 618, somewhere in this region here. And then if it comes down, not form a new low. If we come down here and form a new low, then I do think that we're going to likely continue to the downside.
Yeah. And yeah, that would kind of confirm that retest of that like 29.2, which was my initial buy-in on my long that I accidentally closed, which makes me want to cry. But you can't get emotional.
Hey, we were talking yesterday at lunch. What did I say?
Oh, we said a lot of things. So
no, but you said you were up 38%. And what did I say in that moment?
I think you said you have to take profit, right? Or you have to set your stop loss and also take profit.
Yeah, I said this is not advice, but what I would do in that moment is take 50% profit, and I would move the stop loss into above your entry point. So no matter what happens, not only did you get a good profit off 50% of it, but you also, if the price does retrace, no matter what, you're in profit. And all of us forget to do that sometimes because we want more. We want more.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Super greedy. So I think this is a lesson for everyone with trading. I have been really staying in tune with how my emotions are and just how I feel when I'm making trades, because honestly, it's a very psychological mind body kind of thing. And then you're going off of the news, you're looking at things like as they happen. So your heart is beating, you see the ticker going up, you see the price going up, you see all these things happening all at the same time. And then I'm getting used to feeling those feelings. So then when I trade with bigger amounts, I also can control those emotions, but then I can also learn from my mistakes with my smaller moves. So It's
No,
just advice for everyone.
no, I absolutely agree. So in a time like this, when the market does get shaken out, what are some of the methods you use or strategies to talk yourself out of being on a fear cliff? You know, what's a strategy or a practice you use to get back to center in yourself so you don't succumb to the emotional trading that surely makes us donate our money to other people with better strategy?
Yeah. I guess what I've been doing is I kind of I take a step back for a second and I kind of have to just like breathe, because I think sometimes we're looking at everything and we're getting hyped, and then I just, take a moment, and then actually trying to listen to what other experienced traders have told me in those moments and say, okay, maybe what I was feeling, I might need to do the opposite because the emotions are changing the way that your decision making is. So that's one thing, is like sometimes when you can get the best of yourself. So not getting caught up in the greed. Yeah, setting the stop losses instead of saying, okay, well, setting it at like 10%, negative 10% or something like that. I just learned from AJ, that you should set the stop loss at like a certain price where you're still pulling profit at being 10%, or being at like 15 or 20%. So if it does drop down, you're scalping it. And so something I've been doing, because maybe I'm just new at trading, because some people that are in crypto, they're just holders. They buy, they hold, they don't care what the price is. They might not even sell when the price is going up, because they just want to hold for the long term. But I want to do that, but also in the trading, um making these small moves, and learning from AJ. It's just a kind of a combination of those things. So that's what I've been doing.
No, I mean, it's great advice, and I think just so anybody that's watching knows, not everybody that's been in crypto for a long time is a trader. Okay. There's people that have been in crypto that know a great deal about crypto, that have been DCAing. And I think Dano kind of falls into this category in the majority, in that he's got quite a bit of experience with crypto, but there's something that's different that happens when we transition from our longer term position plays to trading, because by nature of trading, you're saying, I want more than what the market's giving. And so by nature of that, we all have to realize in that moment that there is a little bit of fear, there is a little bit of greed, there is a little bit of FOMO, and we all have to navigate that, every single one of us. And I'll say this over and over again and again. The moment your trade gets into profit, there should be no reason, if the trade goes the other direction, that you lose money, because the moment it gets into profit, at minimum, a stop loss should be moved to break even. If the price shoots up very quickly, 10% or more in terms of what your P&L is on that trade, then your stop loss unquestionably should be moved not only back to break even, but at least to some level of profit to also cover your trading fees. So no matter what, even if you get stopped out, it's basically a break-even moment with maybe, plus 1% or plus 2%, which is still, if you're doing that over and over again, time and time again, then you're actually, you'll end up compounding your gains and winning, basically building your portfolio. So we all need to do a better job of taking what the market gives us, knowing we want more, but allowing ourselves to harness the profits when they're there, not always wanting the 70% gain or the 80% gain. Or you see crypto face just closed out a trade for $200,000 in profit. And you're like, well, I'm only up 5,000. Well, he's trading with 2 million. You're trading with $4,000. So if you're up $2,000 on a $4,000 trade, that's a 50% profit. Why the hell are you not trying to get where he's at by taking some damn profits?
No, you're 100% right. But we still do it. I don't know why. Why do we do it? Why do we do it to ourselves? I literally just did it to myself this morning, and I did it to myself last night. But in that, it's like you're making good trades, but then at the same time, it's almost like something that it's a little tick in your brain that you got to battle out. You're like, it's strong. It's super strong, and I honestly think that's why most people don't trade. because they know probably that they won't be able to handle that, and they lose a lot of money, and they're probably going to be out, and that'll discourage them altogether from even getting into crypto. So I think that's why I'm doing it, so I can just really like control myself, and but also and being in this network and learning from you, watching this, watching your content, watching everyone's content, and honestly talking to everyone like in person, it really helps too. So if you know people that are in your community, and you kind of know like that they've been successful, they've done successful trades, it's obviously, yeah, no, you can't, not financial advice, they're not a financial advisor unless they are, then consult with them. But you can still kind of get the tips from them and say, hey, what did you do? Like, what were and the biggest question you can ask is, what mistake did you make? And how did you circumvent it in a good trade,
Yeah, I want to take a moment real quick. Shout out Elliot Locke. I saw you gave a super chat earlier on. Really appreciate it. He said, Hulk, smash those likes. Everybody hit that like button. Join us here in our community. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. And I just wanted to elaborate or expand a little bit on what you just said there, Dano, because I think it's very important. In some ways, trading is a lot like trying to get in shape. If you're out of shape, you're out of practice, and you have a friend, guy or girl, if you're a guy or a girl, or the person you're looking at is a guy or girl, and they just have that ridiculous body, they're in shape, and in your mind, it's like you want to get there, and then you ask them how they got there. They're like, well, I have kale in the morning, and I run for an hour, and then I do and in your mind, all of us, we go through this sort of negotiation where we try to come up with some solution that's easier than what they're doing, and somehow we still expect to get to where they're going, to get to where they're at. We cannot get to where somebody's at without doing similar plans and practices and strategy. So when you see somebody that you might think what they're doing is boring, I guarantee you the majority of people out there that trade, that make a living doing it and make good profits. Am I muted? No. Okay, no. I thought
you're good. Yeah.
I just got some.
I can hear you.
I got some dings in my ears that worried me for a second there. If you're looking at somebody's process and you feel like it's boring, or man, they're only getting 3%, 4% of trade, that's not exciting. Well, it's exciting getting to that point where you have $1 million in your bank account. And majority of people that do that are people that have either sustainable careers that they're working towards. There are people that win the lottery, sure, just like in trading. There are people that hit one coin that somebody told them about that they didn't do any diligence on, and they make $200,000. But even those people, the majority of people that hit that magic coin, majority of those people only ever had that 200,000 or that $1 million on paper because they didn't take profit. The people that really make it in this industry, and all of you out there, those of you that are going to really start seeing gains in your portfolio, are ones that are okay with compounding 2 to 7 to 8% gains, and not every trade trying to swing for the fences. You don't need to go 42x on $1,000 because you saw somebody else making a $40,000 trade and you only have 1,000. So you 40x it. So you're mad. Don't do that. You're exposing yourself to 40 times more risk. And the crypto market's already risky. There are ways to use leverage. There's ways to trade. And I just want everybody to be a bit more sustainable so we can compound this together.
Yeah. Good points. Very, very good points. I love it.
Yeah. So other than this ETF news, we'll circle back to this because I know I only have you for for about 7 more minutes, and then we're gonna be doing a bunch of that. What else in the market is kind of on the top of your mind right now? It could be assets or news or just developments. What are you thinking?
So it's a few things. So I think it's interesting how all the Bitcoin forks are pumping. You got Bitcoin Cash that it went up 33%. It's like a 14-month high. Then Solana.
They just got listed on EDX, didn't they?
Oh, okay. Well, was that the news? Okay. Yeah. So BCH, and by the way, the ticker Bitcoin Cash BCH. I'm just going on CoinMarketCap, seeing them, see what markets. You said what was the exchange?
EDX is the new exchange that was just launched by Citadel and Vanguard. And
okay. Yeah. They probably won't have that listed on CoinMarketCap because that's like more of an institutional one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that the Bitcoin, almost all of the Bitcoin forks are going up a little bit. So in the news with Bitcoin gaining strength, you think it would be smart to also trade these forks as well? You think that you think they have as long of a longevity in the market opposed to other altcoins? Because for instance, like Solana and Litecoin,
Well, for
Doge.
me, I don't necessarily hate on anything. I think you can make money on any asset. For me, and the way my vision is, even if I'm trading something short term, I do want to know that it has some sort of footing and foundation to be around for a bit, in case it does really start to run. But when I'm thinking of like Bitcoin SV, Satoshi Vision, and Bitcoin Cash, they do have a community. They're kind of a silent community. They do have a community around them. But for me, trading anything like that would be more of a shorter term swing trade on, I wouldn't be trading it on the weekly. I'd be trading it on the 4 hour and if I got a 30% pump on it, I'd cash out and move those profits into another asset. That's how I think about it. What about you?
Yeah, that's a good point to make. Like, because if you can find the trend in those moving with Bitcoin, then you could, if you're looking at the chart, and you could say, okay, well, when Bitcoin saw its different price movements, and you can say, all right, Bitcoin Cash into the Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. It's kind of like with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. There could be room to say, like, kind of Ethereum Classic. It could move. Say Ethereum goes to 4K. Naturally, Ethereum Classic is probably going to see some of that movement as well, right?
Right, and it's just so everybody knows, when you're seeing things like Ethereum Classic, that's something that I'm not interested in whatsoever. But I do,
yeah, me either.
but I do pay attention to, because one of the things we have to realize as we're moving through this ecosystem and it's growing, every time there's a large pump in the market, we get a disproportionate amount of newcomers to the space. And newcomers don't understand what a market cap is. They don't understand why price is not important, because you can have a coin like Urine Finance that's, $30,000. It doesn't mean that it's better than Cardano or Ethereum. The reason it's $30,000, whenever it is, it's not right now, is because it only has, 16,000 coins or something like that. So the market cap is obviously much smaller, but there's much fewer coins. So then the divisible nature of it, there's a lot less available supply. So therefore the price is higher. When we look at something like Ethereum Classic, people go and, they've heard about Ethereum for years, and they've always been opposed to crypto. Now they're getting into the foray, and they're like, well, oh my God, Ethereum is only, this super small amount compared to, and they don't realize that it's Ethereum Classic. And I don't really see I don't really see, 10 years from now, Ethereum Classic being around, but people see it as cheaper and they think they're getting discounted Ethereum. So you're playing to the ignorance in the space. And a lot of those people, as they become more educated, will move their profits out of Ethereum Classic into other assets. So it's just like Bitcoin Cash. I think of something like, it's an asset that could be traded, but I wouldn't be in it long-term at all. But when we're looking at all these ETFs and all this sort of stuff that's going on, and the news that's in the space right now and the hope that's in the space, when we do get another big pump, those are things to keep an eye on, because they very well could have these pumps. I think Bitcoin Cash is up 150 or 200, 300. It's up a huge amount in the last week, like disproportionate amount comparatively with the rest of the market. So it is something to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think this kind of narrative is interesting because when new people are getting into the market, they're going to be confused. They're going to be like, okay, so there's Bitcoin, and then there's Ethereum, and then they're going to be like, well, what are all these other ones? So we have to talk about it. So then when people get into it, they're not thinking, okay, all right, I invested thousands of dollars into Bitcoin, and someone's gonna be like, no, you didn't. You invested into Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. And they're gonna be like, what do you mean? It said Bitcoin.
I've had that exact conversation at least 9 times.
I mean, and they're probably gonna have it a lot more, because there's gonna be really new people that are gonna, get in and try and figure out what exactly they're buying, especially because I think on like PayPal, for instance, like, or Cash App, when you buy, and on like Webull and Robinhood, those are usually the one of the options is like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and do they have Bitcoin Satoshi Vision too?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not
Like on
sure.
those, because those are just kind of like the platform that like kind of like if you're not really like DGen crypto, you're probably maybe buying maybe a little bit on those platforms along
Well,
with
not
your
only
stocks.
that, when people,
You know,
if somebody does have even the smallest amount of experience buying stocks and they're new, they're just starting to get into crypto and they do buy, they're like, okay, well, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, and they see Bitcoin Cash and traditional Bitcoin, actual Bitcoin. A lot of people still don't understand when they're new that you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin like you would a stock. So they're like, well, I can only have $180 or I only have $300. So I'm going to get, a Bitcoin Cash or two Bitcoin Cashes because I can't afford a $29,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well, you could buy it indivisibly up to 100 million Satoshi. It's 100 decimal points. So there's.
But can I admit
fractional.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me admit something. So, I didn't get into investing at all until 20 2019 or 2020, when I felt like comfortable to be like, all right, I'll test it out and see. And I downloaded Robinhood, and I didn't even know you could fractionally buy shares. Like you can buy pieces of shares. I didn't know. Like I had just found out. So then the same with Bitcoin. In that, I learned that I could just, because I thought you had to buy a full coin of something, and then in that through 2020 and being locked down for as long as we were, you're on your phone like crazy. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I bought actually during 2020, bought my first piece of Bitcoin on Robinhood, and I pulled it up. I was like, man, I wonder what actually my first purchase was. And it was when Bitcoin was at 9,500 something dollars. I was like, man, that's how you do it. And you think like, man, back then
It felt
people
so
were
high.
thinking, yeah, it felt, yeah. And then it really, and that's when you have to zoom out and you're like, okay, that's how DCA is the way. That's how people over time, make their money. The people that were into this asset class and kind of on the forefront of learning about Bitcoin. I mean, there are people that stayed through those turbulent times, and it was a massive shakeout. But man, just look at those people now. I mean, you think like Da Vinci, think of Da Vinci, J15 Da Vinci Jeremy. He's kind of one of the OGs. I mean, he bought Bitcoin,
At a
and there's
dollar.
videos of him. Yeah, bought it at a dollar. There's videos of him on YouTube. His old YouTube video, like 2009, saying like, "Come on, guys," you know. But it's hard. It's like because it's the what ifs. Like, oh, if I would have held it when it was, because I guarantee you, most of us probably, if we're honest with ourselves, if we bought Bitcoin at a dollar, would you have held through all of you had to have held it at every single high point, every single top, and then not feel like, oh my God, like, oh, I gotta sell it. Oh, I gotta take some profits, like it. So it's tough. So I know me, I probably would have sold it and done something stupid, lost it. I don't know. But now that we're through all of those different cycles and you see the success of the people that actually stay true, then you can, I don't know. I think it's good to look into the, zoom out, look in the past, but then also look forward to the future, because the price and the trends, they don't exactly repeat, but they rhyme. So,
Yeah.
but there's something interesting that I wanted to show really quick. We're talking about Bitcoin, but I want to talk about XRP. So I think we were talking about how I think just with the case, like it's almost kind of like a baked in pump that with any type of pre-news or, well, actually, what's interesting with XRP is that it actually, you'll see the volume and the trades and the price react before the news breaks, because obviously institutions and the people that are on the are knowing what's happening, they're buying in, and then the news hits, and then we get left FOMOing in. But I think that's what's going to happen with XRP with the case. And if I can just share my screen, I like just kind of saw something with the chart here. Go here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you see here, yeah, we got like, what would you say is a symmetrical falling,
I'd
or
say
not a
that's
falling wedge, but a symmetrical triangle?
No, I'd say that's a descending triangle.
Or descending triangle.
That tends to break bearish. Yeah.
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 So okay. So, but what I was thinking is that we were going to pretty much, we were going to test that latest or the last high right here on 56. So you think we're not gonna break into that until we see a little bit more?
Well, looking at this specific chart formation, that looks like a descending triangle, which is a descending level of resistance and a flat level of support, and those have about a 70-ish% breakdown rate. However, on the same thing, one of the things that I was going to pull up is, and I'll pull it up once you and I are done, but I can read the headline. Whales bought 360 million XRP amid recent 12% price drop. So there is some underlying sort of fundamental and technical sort of bullishness coming in, buying, leading into, I think, some of the speculation about when this XRP case is going to sort of resolve itself, and hopefully it resolves in favor of XRP. But seeing all these things happening with the SEC, it's unclear about in what sort of fashion they would make any sort of call here, because every day we get another story from them. But then, it's crazy. As negative as what they're doing is impacting the digital asset marketplace, they have all these different senators now, as well as former SEC chairs, basically calling out what they're doing is an abuse of power and also un-American. And so it's surprising that they still have the ability to continue on. So there's no telling what could happen here. I guess there's an argument to be made on that specific chart that you have, that there is. Let me go ahead and get my my annotation tool. The way this is drawn, this would be bearish with these two levels. We could also potentially draw this like a falling channel, which in this case, this still could come down and test the bottom side of this range. But if this were to break out from here, falling channels do tend to break bullishly. So I don't think your idea of it going up is wrong. I think the way you drew this formation is probably not the best to support the idea of it going up. I think this is probably more likely a falling parallel channel. Okay. So what you're telling me is I should short XRP up until we see the volume, and then flip long. I think if we lose, is that what you're telling me? I think if we lose this level here, then I'd be looking for a price. I'd be looking for a price level. You can do. I can't do it with my trackpad. So what I was thinking right here, because this is why I drew a circle right here, because I was thinking, okay, this is the last resistance, right? Or support. Yeah. Right here. So 44, so 44 cents, and we're at 46. So I mean, if we, so then that's a 3.6% drop, close to 4% from this level. And that would make sense, because then it's kind of squeezing into that wedge, descending wedge. So then it would like meet into that point right here. And then once it's at the bottom of the wedge, then that's probably when I would think that's the move. Well, I mean, I don't see it that way at all. I see this as a falling. I see this as a falling parallel channel, and this level that you have right here is perfectly in line with these other sort of zones. So if it loses, I would do nothing right here, because you're in the middle of a move. I would wait to see if it bounced at this level right here, and if it doesn't, then this is an opportunity from here down to this lower level of support that's basically tracked from these, basically extended out from these zones. Okay. Yeah, because a descending triangle, if you could pull it up on like Volkowski's, you could also head to bitlabacademy.com. For sure. Descending triangles tend to break bearish, which in this case, I would think would actually be a setup for a long because of everything happening in the background. But that's what I'm thinking there. So I think your bias is wanting it to break bullishly, but I think in order for it to, I do think there's probably a little bit of resolution to the downside before that can happen.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, love it. See, this is why I love coming on this show because you learn, and we're all learning together, and live too.
Yeah.
This isn't scripted, you know. This isn't scripted TV. So this is why you guys watch YouTube. You know, this is you know, this is what YouTube is all about.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I think we're gonna have to cut it there. I'm gonna try and do like 15 different TA on different coins in 20 minutes. So I really appreciate it. I'll if you're gonna
appreciate you.
When are you heading back to St. Augustine?
So I'm heading back today, and we will be doing some content. We'll be shooting a video with Ben today, I think. Let's see if I can get him after the live stream.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, then they'll be heading back to Florida, the paradise, the tropical paradise, the best state in the United States.
Yeah, well, that's arguable, but I appreciate you being on, brother. I'm glad you came down, and I look forward to seeing you again in the near future, my man.
Yeah, you too. And yeah, Alex Green, DCH, DCA. Yeah, it does kind of sound the same.
Yeah, right.
Thanks. Good to see you guys. You guys are awesome, awesome community. And subscribe to my channel, get my numbers up. I'm at almost 500. I got to hit 1,000 so YouTube can, you know, the algorithm. You know how the algorithm is, guys. Yes, sir. So pump it up.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Peace. Have a wonderful weekend, brother. Later.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we're heading back into the stream. We're going to be doing some more. Where is it at? Where's my screen and cam? We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. I don't want to do any more news because we want to do some TA. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Sometimes it's good to have a different face, different input on the channel, different, you know, sort of looks, and we can share thoughts and compare vision and, you know, different, just change it up a bit. So big love to Dano. If you're not following him, make sure you go and follow him over here at Dano Crypto 904. This is his Twitter page. He has his links and stuff here as well. Now, jumping back into the screen here, jumping back into the charts here, let's do a bunch of TA here. I want to shout out Mr. Alex Green, one of our BitLab staff members, also gave a super chat. He said, thank you everyone in the community. Now hit that fist with a thumbs up, which is the like button. Hit that like button. We got 236 people in the room, 171 likes. Let's get that up. Now let's go ahead and do a bunch of TA here, a little turbo TA before we wrap out the show. We still have quite a bit of time here. This is looking immediately, first thing I see, this is looking like a bear flag like this, option T. Here's our level, option T. If you're on PC, when I say option, for you, it's alt. And we can see what you do here. You come over here, take this, extend it like this. This gives you a projected target of where the price action may be going to. Now look at this. This would be all the way down here about 29,132. And this would be concerning because it would be breaking below these levels right here, which we can see is marked out on this. We can see is marked out on this horizontal ray from this position. And let me go ahead. That's on the 24-minute chart. Why are we looking so small? All right. So does this have any confluence? Well, there's this level right here, which is right above it. So what I like to do, if we do have a target below, if we have a target either direction, you want to see how the chart lines up on previous price action with where that target is. And in this case, we have these two different levels of price action from the candle bodies and the candle wick. I do think that we'll likely, if there is still volume coming down, look how big this volume candle is right here, selling volume. If this does continue, if this does have a continuation, and right now this is kind of yet to be seen because we see this large candle body. This is on the 4-hour, and 50% of this entire candle, we have the wick right here. This is how far the price traveled down, and then the bulls ate this back up to this level. We want to see in the next 45 minutes how this closes. Let's actually come down to the 1 hour. See, on the 1 hour, we are getting a little bit of this zone here. Now, Elliot, shout out to Elliot again. Thank you for the super chat, and Alex Green. Now we can see this target blast through these three different price levels. Because of this, for me, if I was shorting this from any point above, I would be either looking at front running this for a buy or front running this for a take profit on a short. So looking short, looking above 29,300, looking somewhere in this zone right here, which would front run the target here. You don't need to squeeze every drop of juice out of every move. You just want to make sure you get the meat of the move, okay? And so this is what I'm seeing right now. If this doesn't round, which this could also happen, this could round out and we could consolidate at this level right where this sort of volume node is right here. We could consolidate right here at this level. Let's see where the point of control is above us. Oh no, point of control is right here. So we're trading right at this point of control. If we're able to round out, we very well could get also an inverted Barton Simpson, which would kind of be coming down like this, chop in this zone, and then move very quickly back up, maybe get resistance right in this zone because we have this descending level of resistance as well as this ascending level of support, of previous support, now resistance. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. If this does have some legs to move up, we can do option F from the top here all the way to the, I would do it from the candle bodies here, do one there. So the golden pocket is right here in this region. If we do this all the way down to where these wicks are, so this is kind of lining up with the golden pocket right below if we do it from the wick, and the golden pocket right above if we do it from the bodies, you see? So this zone right here, let's go ahead and delete this. This zone right here is what I'm looking at when price starts moving back up. This is going to be a critical juncture. It very well could come up this, get rejected, and then actually have a follow through to the downside. So we're not even looking at the other indicators yet. Okay, stochastics broke all the way back down. Do we have any sort of option T? Okay, we've got a little bit. We can kind of delete this now. Okay, this to me is indicating the strength is looking like the price action may be going into a little bit of a chop zone. Why do I say that? This basically strength, the stochastic indicator is coming into the zone. So this could indicate that the price action kind of chops around into the zone. We want to pay attention to stochastics breaking below or coming back up and breaking above. RSI is fully reset down here, almost fully reset. It's down at 34. The MACD is looking like it's trying to round. Let's kind of zoom in on this a bit. It is. 24-minute is rounding. So we just want to pay attention to this. Things are feeling a little uncertain right now. I'd like to wait for either a continuation down or a test back up to this zone and revisit what the strength is. Now, coming over to Ethereum. Ethereum is looking, let's go to another chart. Okay, US dollar. Is this the same thing? There we go. You see how I had different charts with things drawn out in different ways. This way you can get a good idea of what the heck is going on. Now let's go ahead and delete this fib. Okay, there we go. Let's delete this fib. Okay, look at this. Pushed up, broke through this. Currently, this is on the daily, currently holding above this, but we were not able to take this zone right here. We barely broke by it with a wick, immediately got rejected. But what I am seeing on this, if we come down here, let's go to the 8 hour. If we look at this, this is looking like a bit of a, almost like a bull flag. Why do I say that? We have this sort of, now, if this were to continue up right now, which I think is somewhat unlikely because of the shock in the news narrative, there's a lot of bullishness that was riding on the hope train with the ETFs. That narrative has been for the time being, water's been thrown on that fire. So this came up, got rejected. It did find support. Look at this, right on this level. Not only did it find support on this level, we want to see what happens in the next, let's come down to the 1 hour. Okay. We want to see what's happening with strength and momentum on this, okay? Stochastics kind of coming up. Money flow arced up, got a peak above and a little bit of liquidity coming out of the market here. We want to pay close attention to this. 24-minute. Okay, this has only dipped and it's trying to fight back up. The bulls are trying to fight to keep the narrative alive. As it stands right now, this is not broken to a new low. So I'm a little hesitant on the market right now. I'm kind of playing a little bit of a wait and see which direction the market's going to pick. Also, it is Friday of the last day of the month, also the last day of the quarter, also the last day of the first half of the year. So I'm sitting any trades out right now because of the news shock that happened today. I want to see where the equilibrium finds itself after all this news has been sort of absorbed and the market sort of picks a direction. Stochastics have broken. You see this? This had broken above the 50 line. This is on the 1 hour though. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is holding currently right at, look at this. On the 4 hour, this is holding right at the 50 line and the moving average of the RSI. So I would like to see this hold here. If this loses here, then I think that there's going to be more liquidity coming out of this as well, which would suggest this will likely come down. And the next target I'd be looking below, if we lose this level, is this major level of previous resistance come down and testing this, which, as you notice, it's not major, it's just major comparatively on the time frames. Is right here at 1786. So that's what I'd be seeing here if we lose this level. If we lose this level, I do think we're going to be coming down and testing lower zones, kind of somewhere in these regions. Basically losing 1786, coming down to 1750, lose that 1716, and then from there, I think that means the narrative, the hope narrative in the market is completely lost. In terms of, I don't mean the prices are going to zero. I mean, we're likely going to see some pretty strong retracements. And if Bitcoin and Ethereum are retracing like this, I think the hope in the altcoins is probably diminished dramatically. I almost said traumatically. So let's look at this. The dollar index, the risk narrative of what's going on. Now, this is going to be a little bit obscure in terms of what's happening with the crypto market right now, because the crypto market is what just suffered this news narrative shift. The ETFs and Bitcoin, this does not affect the traditional market space. But we're seeing something that does, we don't want to see more fuel added to the fire in the digital asset ecosystem. And that would be if the dollar index broke up and broke this level of resistance. What is this level of resistance? Let's go ahead and zoom out. This goes all the way back to September 2022. So this is a pretty major level that we do not, I really prefer not to see Bitcoin, the dollar index break back above this. We do see stochastics came down. Look at this. The RSI right near kind of the 50 region. The RSI is butting its head up against this right now. This is on the 3-day chart, of course. So it's come down to the daily. Same thing. It's looking like it's trying to get a rejection. I'd like to see the dollar break down, test at 101, and then come down here. Now, what I meant to do when I brought up this chart, this is just what happened to be up, is look at the Bitcoin dominance. It is falling a little bit. This is on the 3-day though. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is falling a little bit, so this may be giving a little bit of fuel to the liquidity in the altcoin markets. In terms of what's happening there, we want to watch right here. This is basically at the 51.6%. If we lose this level, this could mean that we may see the altcoin market performing a little better. Because remember, the Bitcoin ETF is different from just a digital asset ETF for, like an index. So maybe there's some room to argue that if the Bitcoin dominance comes down and this loses this, maybe the altcoins are going to see a little bit better performance, which is essentially what that would be indicating. Now we can see this playing out directly on the total market cap, total 2, everything minus Bitcoin. But what I notice here, you see this line right here. We do have a level. Sorry, that was a very poor leader online. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour. We've got a known level of resistance. Go to the daily. There we go. Got a known level of resistance right here to here. We extend this out. We're fighting this zone right here. This is the altcoin market, Ethereum and everything else. We tried to break above it. We got rejected. If this candle closes like this, if we come down to the 4 hour, we'll get better resolution. If these candles close and we lose, especially if this comes down and loses this level, this is indicating to me that the altcoin market is likely coming down. We do see, look at this. A little bit of a bearish divergence on liquidity on the altcoin marketplace. The money flow is coming out. We got a strong rejection, very overbought here, very overheated with stochastics. This is angled straight down. But now we have a bit of a trend line here as well with the RSI. This trend line now is formed. When you have 2 points, you can create a trend line. So this is, if this is not bouncing, this is right below the 50 line. If this doesn't find some support here, then I'm thinking that the altcoin market cap is going to falter a bit. Coming back over here, Ethereum, we already called out our levels. Let's look at ADA. ADA. Okay. So we had a little gnat landed on my face. Okay, we wanted this to be a bull flag. But if we look at this, pattern as it is, this pattern as it is also, as Dano was pointing out, a descending triangle, meaning we have descending level of resistance, flat bottom support. These tend to break out to the downside. If we ignored the bullish bias here, we would have seen that also breaks to the downside, gets a confirmation, breaks to a new low. Now this is trying to fight to the upside. However, we're getting a rejection below this previous high. So this is indicating to me that, this is indicating to me that there's a likelihood that we may have Cardano make an attempt to back up to this high here. But this, if I was looking at this just as it is, this is indicating to me that there's a likely continuation of the downside. We also see stochastics firmly to the downside, money flow firmly to the downside. It's broken back below the 50 line. It's very close, though. It's right at the 47. But here's a kicker. The money flow is starting to round out to the downside. We come down to the 1 hour. That's coming down. We're seeing that we're trying to hold support. This is the support right here. If this, let me come here. Option T. This is not a very strong formation because this wick, there's not like a ping pong back and forth. We could go like this. This would be a ascending, broadening wedge, which typically breaks bearishly. This is looking a little indecisive at the moment with attempts, but finding support, forming new highs on this very tight range. I'd be waiting and seeing on this. I'm not doing anything with Cardano until we start seeing some initiative and some change of narrative from the SEC or some repercussions for some of the decisions that they've made. We do have higher lows on the stochastics. That's in line with the higher lows here. But yeah, again, I'm feeling very uncertain about this because we did not get past this high. I'd be looking at this coming back and retesting option J. These lows here at 25 cents. We looked at XRP. I saw somebody early on wrote XRP. You early birds, everybody that shows up early in the stream. I really try to pay attention to some of the coins that you call out in that first 15 minutes before the stream starts, when you guys mention them in chat. So let's, I'm going to try and remember some of the ones you had. We're going to do some turbos here. Okay, we have option T. Got a bit of a trend line there. Let's go to the 8 hour. Double click on the chart. Okay. Yeah, let's delete this. GRT. Got a bit of a trend line there. And we've got a bit of a trend line. It's hard to do with the trackpad on a laptop. Okay. So larger time frame, just in terms of goes back, all the way to March. We've got this level. Hold on 1 second, guys. I have somebody at my door. Sorry about that. The whole reason I'm streaming from home today is because I have a bunch of, because I just moved in this week. I had, 2 TVs being delivered and I had to be here to receive them. So sorry about that. Thank you for waiting on me, everybody. Big love to you all. Elliot Locke says $10 with the suggested drop in crypto possible coming. Do you think peeps will buy so they can get into NFTs, which will move the market up? I'm confused by that. Adding a segment on NFTs to the show could be an advantage too. I will absolutely bring on. So I have some people I can bring on regarding NFTs. So definitely, I will definitely work that in. I don't think NFTs are going to be the thing that really move the market up right now. There's a little hesitation on the market. I think we need a little bit more certainty in terms of a trend. And all this FUD back and forth with the SEC and all this stuff going on. So that's what I'm thinking. Thank you for the super chat very much. I appreciate you. And let's continue on. We're gonna try and do 3 or 4 more, run a little bit long today. So we can see right here, we've got this level, we consecutive lows, and now we're getting this increase. You see this angle? And then this angle gets a little sharper, and this angle gets a little sharper. So this is giving me a little bit of pause on GRT, but I really like GRT, especially with what they're doing with, basically indexing blockchains using AI and really, really awesome protocol. Really like this. So look at this point of control, this line that's coming out. You see how this moves? Bastard. Of course, when I try to show something, there you go. You see how it moved? This is a point of control. This outlines where the highest level of volume is. We have a great volume profile tool that we're including with the BitLab Trading Stack here when we have a bunch of updates coming to that. No, I don't want to do that. So the point of control right here is also, look at this, previous high, and also supports right here. So this is a very strong level. If we lose this level and test this region, I honestly think that the price is actually probably going to test lower. And where I would be looking is right here. Why right here? Because we have a bounce right here and we have a rejection right after. So this is a known level. And there's a little bit of a volume gap here on this profile, but if we zoomed out, it's going to be the same because, here we go. There's a little bit of a gap there. So I would think that this would probably come down on the shelf. So if we lose this, I think it's likely that the price action, we could have some stops along the way, which would be right here. So if we lose this level, I think we're coming down to 8.4 cents. If we lose that, all the way down to 7.2 cents. If we do bounce here strongly, this would also be a breakout of the smaller trend. I do think we're going to test back up to 12.5. Here on GRT. Now let's look at Atom. Okay, let's delete this right here. Everybody, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We got a couple more minutes here. Big love to everybody. This is looking like a stair step down, continuation down. We also see, we can also see right here, we have this descending triangle with a flat level of support. This is exactly what I'm talking about. What do these usually do? Usually break to the downside. What did it do? Broke to the downside, tried to test to the upside, and now it's looking like it's, to me, this is looking like, we're on the 12 hour. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's do this. Let's go double click. So this is looking like it's going to kind of go like this and retest this zone right here before it likely, before it comes down to a lower level. I don't even know where that would be. I'm trying to do some quick TA here before we, so this would be, that's quite low though. Yeah, if we break this plane right here, this sort of support level, if we break the support level, I think that we're going to retest this low, and if we lose this, come down and test down here to 589. If we do continue to the upside, then we have a level of resistance directly above us, which is from this point and this point and this point, and this very well could trade into all the way up into this region and then break down or break out. And if we break out to the upside, we have levels directly above us. So it's nothing to be super excited about. You need to take this level by level right now, everybody. Be patient. Be kind to your portfolio by being patient with the trades you're making. We haven't done ICP in a while. We can see this is looking very similar to Atom. So if we lose, this is already broken bearish out of this formation, this rising level. Look at this. So this already broke up, retested, and came down. I think this is likely going to trade down. We can look at this level right here, which is a previous low and a volume node here. And this would be down at 370. So another 20 cents down. If we lose that, I do think we're probably likely going to come test below $3.50. And I talked about that in the Crucial Crypto newsletter about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I talked specifically about a level that I was going to be buying out. So get involved in that if you haven't. Let's see, Bencoin just doing what it does. It's kind of, it's small coin, new coin. It's finding a little bit, it's got a little bit higher low here. Looks like a little mini formation here. It just does give me concern that we have this, does give me concern that it looks like we have this level of descending flat level. So if we lose this level, then this very well could come down in this region here, which would be basically the 6026 down to 5632, which is a pretty steep drop from here. That's about a 20% drop if we lose this level. So if we're able to break out of this, then we're going to be looking at levels not too high above us for a low resistance, 8.9 and 10.6, mini zeros in front of it. Let's see, anything else I wanted to look at? We looked at XRP. Let's look at Filecoin. We'll do it here. Filecoin. Okay, let's go to double click. Okay. Double click on the chart. Filecoin, option T. Let's get our trend line going. Okay, we got this level of resistance. Got this level here, option J. We've got this level here. So if we lose, this also looks like a falling channel. Resistance, support. Okay. And this is looking like it's looking like we're getting rejected here. If we get rejected here and we start breaking down, because not only do we reject it at that descending level of resistance, which is this, we also broke through this ascending level of support. It looks like we retested it. This is looking like it's going to want to try and test down to 323, and if we lose that, continue, you can stair step down, but we have the lower bound of this resistance. If this comes all the way down here, look at this, we have a confluence point right here, which is all the way down at 237. So this would be, a pretty drastic drop, but we saw it happen here. We saw it, happen here. So if there's just a bearish washout to the downside before we resolve to the upside, then we could look somewhere in this zone here, 290 up to 328, somewhere in the zone to look for a little bit of support. But with that being said, it is 11:37. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I got to finish doing my move-in here. Let me go ahead and do the customization, redirect. Boom. Yeah, this is the first stream from my home. I'll probably do it about once a week. I'll have all the rest of my stuff as I need it later. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. I absolutely love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you, I guess, Monday. I think Monday. Tuesday, we're off. But yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. Hit that like button. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.